Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Ace Advice. I have an amazing guest speaker today. It's Camille Smukler. She was my teammate for about 1.5 years until we had to go home because of COVID, but she made my college experience so special, and I miss her so much. But yeah, so I think we're going to have an amazing discussion today. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and bring her on. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Oh my gosh, I'm doing well. I miss you so much.
You and everyone on the team. It's so sad.
I know. So, my first question is when did you start playing tennis, and was it a family thing or were you kind of the first person in your family to start playing?
Yeah, so I guess I started playing pretty young. I'm not sure the exact age, but probably like 6 or 7, I want to say. My older sisters play tennis. So I think I just, was put into the clinics after them. And my dad played tennis like in high school. And I think he was like the big force with tennis. He wanted to always like hit with me, I think, when I got older. So I think that was his like motivation and putting us into tennis. But yeah, pretty young, and I really liked it. Yeah,
Yeah. When did you kind of start playing junior tournaments?
I want to say like 15, maybe.
Oh
I
wow.
think I was like kind of later to start. Actually, maybe like 14, 15. I was a little bit later to junior tennis, but yeah, that was an interesting time.
Yeah, was there like a reason you started so late? Because I know most people I know started around like 12, 13, usually junior tournaments.
I think like my parents didn't really know that there were like junior tournaments, so I think they kind of like I did like a couple like local ones here and there, like when I was 12 or something. But then like they talked to my coach, and my coach was like, "You should really have her start like playing more of these like tournaments." So I think they just weren't really clued in. Like neither of my older sisters did junior tournaments at all, so I think they were just kind of like late in getting me to start those.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. Um, so I guess how was your junior tennis experience? Because I know there's a lot of mixed feelings about junior tennis. I mean, I definitely had some rough patches, and I was kind of wondering, if you could tell everyone how your kind of junior tennis experience was.
Well, I think, yeah, like you said, definitely some rough patches. Like there are the good moments and the bad moments. I would say like the positives from it was that I definitely like grew a lot as a tennis player. You're playing like a lot of matches all the time, and I think it makes you kind of more like dedicated and committed, and like learn about like having priorities and having like commitments. So that was definitely a good thing, and I did make some friends. Like I was in middle states, so I made some good friends there too, so I think that was like a positive thing. I think some of the negatives was it did take up like a lot of weekends and a lot of time, especially like my junior year. I remember like every weekend I was driving like 4 hours to like the middle of Pennsylvania or something. And I was like, that definitely like wore on me. I was like, oh my God, I like so many. And it definitely gets tiring. Like towards the end, I think people are ready to like transition to college. And like you're just with your parents all the time. So there's definitely like pros and cons. But I think overall, like you look back and you're like, it was a good like learning experience.
So, because you started so late, when did you realize that you wanted to play tennis in college?
I think Well, I think definitely I knew junior year. Definitely probably sophomore year I was starting to like think about it. And even like I did play a lot of sports in like middle school, like 8th grade and 9th grade. So I think 9th grade I decided to quit lacrosse, which I was pretty serious about lacrosse. Like at one point I thought I would play that in college. And I really liked volleyball too. So they were like
Oh,
competing.
wow. I didn't know that.
But then like my coach was like, and my parents, like they were like, you're being crazy, Camille. Like they kind of wanted me to play tennis, and I did really like it. And I was like, I think that was the sport I was the best at. So I kind of just was like, I'm gonna focus on tennis. So I think like 9th grade I decided I'm gonna quit the other sports and just do tennis for high school. So that's kind of when I like decided to play in college. But I think before then there were other things going on, so I didn't really know.
Oh wow, that's so interesting. I didn't know that you played lacrosse and volleyball. Oh my gosh.
I love lacrosse.
Wow. Oh my god. Sorry, that's just like, oh my gosh, I had no idea.
A lot of tennis players only play tennis like their whole lives and like
Yeah.
really young, but like yeah, I just had a later start to that, but
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. Okay. Well, that's crazy. Okay. So I guess if you could just maybe walk through kind of your recruiting process and then why you decided to choose Amherst.
Mhm. Well, the recruiting was mostly like junior year, I think. A lot of the recruiting tournaments, like the Donovan Showcase, and I think there's like a Harvard New Balance tournament. Like I went to all of those, I think, or like as many as I could, and just talked to coaches there. I tried to like send out emails to coaches that I was interested in their schools. I did like some visits, some on-campus visits to I think like 4 schools, maybe 4 or 5. And then kind of just like you have to talk to the coaches about what's kind of realistic and if they have a spot for you. And I really liked Amherst. I mean, that was like one of my top schools for sure. I really liked like a lot about Amherst. Like I liked the coach. I liked Jackie. I thought she was interesting, funny.
Yeah.
I really liked the team when I visited. I thought that was a huge part in me coming. Like I could see myself on the team and getting along really well with everyone, and the campus was beautiful, and obviously it's really strong academically and athletically, so I think it really had all the pieces together for me. So I think Jackie kind of like gave me the go ahead and was like, you'll probably get in if you apply early, so I just applied early to Amherst.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, do you have any advice for maybe high school players who are looking to play in college? Kind of, yeah, any like words of wisdom to like for them to find like the perfect college fit for them?
Yeah, well, I think honestly, like the on campus visits are kind of important, which I mean, now obviously that's really hard. But I think like talking to players on the team is really important to like getting a real sense of the school and like what kind of people are at the school, because I think that was really important for me. Um, in like, would I fit in this team environment? And like, while the players do change, I think like it's usually a good representation of like who's on the team and like what their personalities are like, what they value. So I think that's really important. And I think just like have like an open mind. Like you might not think you'd like one school. Like I think Amherst at first I was like, I'd rather go to like mid or something. But just like do your research and really like try to learn as much as you can about it through players, through alum. Yeah, that would be my biggest tip, I think.
Yeah, no, that's really good advice. Okay, so now that you went to Amherst, I'm gonna list off your accomplishments that you had at Amherst because I think they're so incredible. Okay, so Camille was a 4-time ITA All American. She was the 2018 National ITA Player to Watch. She had 3 NCAA team tournament appearances and singles tournament appearances, and her best finish was last year. She made the semis. Your highest regional ranking was 2, and your highest national ranking was 6. You're a 4-time All NESCAC, 3-time NESCAC All Academic, 2017 NESCAC Rookie of the Year, 3-time Team Most Valuable Player, and the 2019 to 20 team captain. So many accomplishments in college. And I know that you started later than most people in junior tennis. So when you went to Amherst, were you expecting to have such a successful college career or were you surprised? I guess, like, I mean, you just had so many great accomplishments. I'm just wondering, if you were surprised by it.
Yeah, definitely surprised. Like going into college tennis, I was hoping to play like 4 or 5 on the ladder. Like I just wanted to be like in the lineup pretty much. So I was extremely like excited as a freshman to get to play number one singles. That was like super exciting. I definitely like I mean, I was pretty highly ranked in juniors, but definitely not. Like there were people definitely higher than me. So I think I was definitely surprised with how I ended up performing in college. And I think I really got a lot better in college, actually. I mean, some people have trajectories where they'll get into college and kind of like hit a slump and go down. And some people kind of get better. And I think I really put a lot of time into tennis in college, and I chose to just focus on it a lot. And I think I improved a lot and really grew as a player from juniors. So that's really what I think contributed to the success that I had.
Yeah. Is there anything in particular do you think that like helped you to improve so much in college? Was it like the drills or like the fitness and lifts? Kind of what in particular do you think helped you the most?
I think it's kind of like taking it upon yourself to kind of grow and get better. You know, like you have a coach who's there to support you and like help you when you're in practice. And we have like a trainer and everything. But it's kind of like you have to motivate yourself, and finding that like self motivation can definitely be hard. But I think that's the most important driver. Like if you say, I'm going to go to practice and really like commit to this drill and really like focus on like getting like improving on my forehand today or something, like you kind of have to do that on your own. So there's a lot of like independence that comes into it that I think people in juniors, like you're used to your coach kind of scheduling everything for you, like you're going to work on this today, but I think you have to kind of take it upon yourself to like coach yourself in a way and have your coach, because that's what's really going to help you. And I mean, I also would like do some work like outside of practice if it was before, like usually before spring break when we would have to play our first matches. I'd do some like extra work if I was feeling like uncomfortable with something, or like just to like really feel good about and like confident going into match play. So I think just like having independence with your work and like having a strong work ethic, I think is important too.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, I think that's such great advice because freshman me versus sophomore me, I definitely felt like I improved a lot more my sophomore year just because I did put in that extra work. You really have to be motivated yourself and know that only you can really change how well you play.
Yeah,
I think that's
exactly.
really good advice.
Hmm.
Um, okay, so just another question about Amherst. So I'm just really curious about this because I know that you were on the team for almost 4 years.
Hmm.
And I guess my perception of D3 was a lot different than what it is now. I feel like the players that we've gone against are so good, like easily could have gone D1 kind of tennis level. And I was wondering, did D3 kind of change over the course of your time there, or was it always so competitive? I feel like it's just so competitive now. And I was just wondering what your take on that was.
Yeah, I think it's always been like deceivingly competitive, kind of like what you said. Like I think people looking at colleges, they're like, oh, I could definitely go D1, but then there's like D3 as like a second option. But I think that's kind of changed, or like I at least hope that it's changing, because I think that like the more competitive it becomes, kind of like that's a good thing. Like I'm happy that it's as competitive as it is. And I also think being one of the NESCAC schools, that's a really tough league. Like we play all of those schools like right off the bat, and we play them a lot. And I think that's a really, really strong league. I mean, as well as like Pomona and Claremont, and there are other ones too. But I think like being in that league with like really top players and really like down the lineup strong players, I think that's um, yeah, I think it's been like that since I came in, really. But I think there's also, there are degrees of D3. Like there are definitely D3 schools that are not as strong as the NESCAC, and there can be a big difference between those. But I think, yeah, a lot of D3 players I think could have gone D1, but there are definitely perks to D3, which is why they chose D3. So yeah.
So my next question is, um, do you have any regrets about your college experience? Something you wish you would have done, or something you wish you would have done better or less of?
Hmm. It's an interesting question. I think with tennis, I don't think I have many regrets, honestly. I think what I would tell people so that they don't have regrets is really take advantage of every moment that you have. And I think I tried to do that to the best of my ability, because like you never know when your season's going to get canceled.
Oh my
So
gosh,
I
yeah.
like just taking every practice and like knowing that you're very lucky to be there, and like it's such a gift to like have college tennis, and that it does go by really fast. So I think just like maybe I bet there are some matches where I like didn't try as hard, or some practices where I was like whatever. But I think just like really as much as you can, just like taking everything as like a gift, kind of like you're lucky to be there, and like it goes by really fast, and there's really nothing else like college tennis. Like once you leave, I mean, there are definitely leagues, but it's not the same. So I think like I don't really have regrets tennis wise. I guess like one regret I have would from like Amherst would just be like not getting involved in as many like clubs or organizations, because I think I really focused on like tennis in school, and those were like the two things I focused on, which I think paid off in those respects. But I would have liked to get more involved with clubs or other activities on campus. That would be my regret. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a really good advice. That's something that, I mean, actually, I don't think I've shared this on this channel yet, but I'm in an a cappella group. And that was so exciting for me to be involved with because, I mean, yeah, tennis in school, it definitely will take up all your time, but it's good to kind of, expand your horizons even more
Mhm.
than just tennis in school. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that advice, to make sure that if you enjoy doing something, go do it. You can find the time for yourself if you just, really have good time management skills.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there something that you're going to miss the most about Amherst?
Oh man, that's a tough one. But definitely the people. I mean, my friends, my teammates, everyone that I like met there. I really love the people at Amherst. I think that was like the reason I came, and like the saddest part about leaving. I mean, on top of that, just like all the little quirks about Amherst, like the dining hall, even though it's not that great, or like just like the dorms, which are really nice. You don't realize that until you leave, I think. Um, and like, just the classes, really everything, the campus, really everything. But I would say my friends, the people, and just being so close to them all the time was really nice. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so my next question is what's next for you? What's, on your timeline now?
So for me, I'm planning to go to law school actually, but
Yeah.
in like a year or two, I have to study for the LSAT, so I'll be doing that very soon. So doing that, I don't really have like a job yet because I think I'm gonna do some volunteer work actually this year on top of my like studying for the LSAT. So that's kind of my plan for this year, and then hopefully law school in the future. So
Wow, that's so exciting.
yeah, we'll see.
Is there, are you gonna, continue to play tennis? Will you be doing those leagues or just kind of hitting with friends, family?
I think for now, just hitting with like friends and family, whoever wants to play. Yeah, I'm not in a huge rush to like get into a league or anything like Maddie probably is, but
Yeah.
but probably down the road. I'm guessing like when I'm a bit older, I'll definitely join one because I love the competition part is something that you really like get used to, I think, and I want to take a little break from that, but I'll also like playing real matches later. That's different from just hitting, so I'll
Yeah.
definitely do that later.
Yeah, and when this pandemic's over, Camille, we're gonna hit also.
Yes, please. We're pretty close.
I know
So
we are.
definitely.
Awesome. Okay, so my last question for you is kind of a fun question because I just love asking this question. Who is your favorite tennis player? It can be like both on the men's and women's, or just one or the other. Who's your favorite tennis
Uh-huh.
player and why?
So this is kind of a weird one, but my favorite tennis player is Angelique Kerber, um, for a couple reasons. Well, one, I was playing a tournament in junior tennis, and one of the moms was like, said to my mom, "Oh, your daughter plays like Kerber," and I was like, "Oh, I guess that's a compliment." And she has a really good backhand, and I like my backhand, so I think we have similar game styles, and she's a grinder, which I appreciate. So I think I really respect her game. Um, on the men's side, Nadal, because he's just so cute, and yeah, that's
Yes,
really he's the best. He's the best. So that would be, yeah, it's my
I
answer.
love that. I totally agree both with both of them, honestly. Like Herbert, she is such a grinder. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's so true about the backhand. You guys both love your backhands.
I do. I really like that. So
And then Nadal, I mean, I will be repeating this throughout the entire time I have this YouTube channel, but Nadal is the best player of all time. He's
I'm
amazing.
a huge fan as well. So
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. I had such a great time talking with Camille. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and also comment with any questions you have for Camille. I will pass them along to her. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.